guys, what's up? So now we have the full confirmed structure deck list for Powercode Duelist. The first card is Dongle Acorn. This is a dark Cybus level 1 with 0 attack and 0 defense, and its effect is if this card is special summoned, you can special summon one Dongle token, Cybus dark level 1 with 0 attack and 0 defense. You can only use this effect of Dongle Acorn once per turn. This card is a token creator, which can be used to make further link monsters. Next card is Garbage Collector. This is a Wind Cybus level 2 with 100 attack and 1900 defense, and its effect is you can target one other Cybus monster you control, return it to the hand, and if you do, special summon one Cybus monster from your deck with the same level as the monster returned to the hand, but with a different name. You can only use this effect of Garbage Collector once per turn. This card can return a Cybus monster you have on the field to bring out another one with a better effect. Also, certain Cybus monsters have an effect that activates only when they are summoned. By doing this, you can continue to activate their effects so long as this card is able to keep returning them to the field. Flame Buffalo is a super rare. It's going to be a Fire Cybus level 3 with 1400 attack and 200 defense, and its effect is if this face-up card leaves the field, you can discard one Cybus monster, and if you do, draw 2 cards. You can only use this effect of Flame Buffalo once per turn. This card acts as a draw card and can get rid of some of your less useful cards in hope for something. Next card is Lady Debugger. This is a super rare. It is a light Cybus level 4 with 1700 attack and 1400 defense, and its effect is if this card is normal or special summoned, you can add one level 3 or lower Cybus monster from your deck to your hand. You can only use this effect of Lady Debugger once per turn. This card acts as a searcher for the deck, and it has decent stats. Antialien is a level 4 Earth Cybus monster with 1900 attack and 600 defense, and its effect is 1 once per turn during the battle phase. If this card battled a monster as a quick effect, you can activate this effect. Immediately after this effect resolves, normal summon one Cybus monster from your hand. 2. If this face-up card leaves the field because of an opponent's card effect while its owner controls it, draw 1 card. This card is able to bring out a Cybus monster in addition on your turn, provided this attacks, building field advantage quickly. The downside to this effect is this means you cannot make your extra deck monsters until main phase 2. As for the second effect, it can enable a draw. It has a decent attack stat to keep it on the field. Storm Cipher is a level 4 dark Cybus monster with 2400 attack and 0 defense, and its effect is 1. This card cannot attack directly and cannot attack monsters your opponent controls in an extra monster zone. 2. This card is unaffected by the activated effects of monsters in the extra monster zone, and it cannot be destroyed by battle with monsters your opponent controls in an extra monster zone. This card is an attempt to combat the nature of extra deck monsters, but restricting it enough to not make it an extra deck destroyer. And besides, it is far too low leveled to manage that. The attack stat is good, but it is in part for show. Sometimes Konami releases cards that may not do much, but are there to warn your opponent not to attack recklessly. Another example of this is Rare Metal Dragon. It's a dark dragon, level 4, with 2400 attack and 1200 defense. Now, this seems like far too strong for a level 4 monster. Well, you would be correct. Outside of the fact it cannot be normal summoned or set, it must rely on something forcing its own special summon. The first effect, to not attack directly, is a large disadvantage. However, there are support cards that provide that same disadvantage, so in that case it would be worth adding those cards to this, especially if they are attack increasing cards, and the prevention of acting against extra monster zones is to prevent it from being too strong. As for the second effect, this provides balance, as whilst it cannot attack or act as a threat to the extra monster zone, it in turn cannot be dealt with by their effects or by their attack stat through battle. The main downside of this, which you notice I've yet to mention, is it only works against the extra monster zone. rather than extra deck monsters themselves. So your opponent could bring out a link monster, go for an extra deck monster, and place it into a main monster zone, and then proceed to run over this card. This is best described as a one-turn stalling card. Segmental Dragon is a light Cybus level 7 with 2600 attack and 2400 defense, and its effect is you can only normal summon or set this card without tributing, but its original attack and defense become halved. Once per turn, if this card was normal summoned or set as a quick effect, you can destroy this face-up card, and if you do, destroy all monsters in the main monster zones with attack less than or equal to the attack this card had on the field. This card is able to act like a dark hole, the downside being that to get its the best of its ability, you cannot use the instant summon effect, and it won't damage monsters in the extra monster zone. Sea Archiver is a water Cybus level 3 with 300 attack and 2100 defense, and its effect is if a monster is normal or special summoned to a zone a link monster points to while this card is in your hand or graveyard, except during the damage step, you can special summon this card, but banish it when it leaves the field. You can only use this effect of Sea Archiver once per turn. This card can help to encourage link monster effects as they rely on monsters being linked or to go into another link monster. This will be a super. Cybus Gadget is a light Cybus level 4 with 1400 attack and 300 defense, and its effect is when this card is normal summoned, you can target one level 2 or lower monster in your graveyard, special summon it, but it has its effects negated. If this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can special summon one gadget token, Cybus Light level 2 with 0 attack and 0 defense. You can only use this effect of Cybus Gadget once per turn. This card is able to generate a token when sent to the graveyard, and to bring out a weaker monster to be used for a link summon. Grinder Golem is a level 8 Dark Fiend monster with 3000 attack and 300 defense, and its effect is cannot be normal summoned or set, must first be special summoned from your hand to your opponent's side of the field by special summoning 2 Grinder tokens, Fiend type Dark level 1 with 0 attack and 0 defense in face-up attack position on your field. If you special summon this monster, you cannot normal summon or set a monster during the same turn. This card is used to generate tokens who you summon either Akashic Magician or Security Dragon to bring it back to the hand, summon it again to bring more tokens, as much as you can to bring out as many link monsters as you can. This is going to be a normal parallel. Duragido is a Dark Fiend level 4 with 1700 attack and 1300 defense, and its effect is during either player's battle step, you can special summon this card from your hand, and if you do, gain 1000 life points. You can only use this effect of Duragido once per turn. During either player's turn, you can tribute this card, then target one face-up monster you control. It gains 1000 attack until the end of the next turn. This card gains life points and can provide an additional attack boost to one of your monsters. Mecha Phantom Beast Tether Wolf is a wind machine at level 4 with 1700 attack and 1200 defense, and its effect is when this card is normal summoned, special summon one Mecha Phantom Beast token. It's a machine type wind level 3 with 0 attack and 0 defense. This card's level is increased by the total levels of all Mecha Phantom Beast tokens you control. While you control a token, this card cannot be destroyed by battle or by card effects. During the damage step of either player's turn, if this card battles an opponent's monster, you contribute one token. Once per battle, this card gains 800 attack until the end of this turn. This card can make itself 2500 for a turn, and generates tokens which can be used to bring out link monsters. Reborn Tengu is a level 4 Wind Beast Warrior with 1700 attack and 600 defense, and its effect is, if this face-up card leaves the field, special summon one Reborn Tengu from the deck. This has been used in Synchro decks as well as Xyz decks to bring out a rank 4 monster. You will get to copy. Poppymeister is a Dark Fiend level 4 with 1700 attack and 400 defense, and its effect is when a card effect is activated in your opponent's graveyard as a quick effect, you can send this card from your hand to the graveyard to negate that effect. This is a hand trap that can deal with your opponent's graveyard, and it will be a common. There is some argument as to how useful this card is, as there are certain decks that rely heavily on graveyard advantage, with effects reliant on the graveyard, and there are then again decks that pretty much don't use the thing at all, so it's either one way or the other. It's either brilliant or it's useless. But then again, the attack stat in itself makes it viable outside of most hand traps, which tend to have very weak stats and have no place being on the field whatsoever. Tribe Infecting Virus is a Water Aqua level 4 with 1600 attack and 1000 defense, and its effect is discard one card from your hand and declare one type of monster. Destroy all face-up monsters of the declared type on the field. This card can get rid of specific monsters, however it is no longer as useful as it used to be because it depends too much on a specific type. With most decks being able to run various types, even those that do rely on, say, one type, can go into extra deck monsters, which can benefit from various types again. This is going to be a common card. The only way I see this card ever being used is in match with DNA Surgery, which can force all monsters on the field to be treated as a particular. Goblin Bird is an Earth Warrior level 4 with 1400 attack and 0 defense, and its effect is when this card is normal summoned, you can special summon one level 4 or lower monster from your hand. Also, after that, change this card to defense position. This card is able to be used for an immediate rank 4 Xyz monster or for a link to link monster. Phantom Skyblaster is a Dark Fiend level 4 with 1100 attack and 800 defense, and its effect is when this card is normal or flip summoned, you can special summon any number of Skyblaster tokens. Fiend Dark level 4 with 500 attack and 500 defense, up to the number of monsters you control. Once per turn during your standby phase, you can inflict 300 damage to your opponent for each Skyblaster monster you control. Skyblaster monsters you control cannot declare an attack during the turn you activate this effect. This card can generate tokens which can be used for a link summon or to cause effect damage. Genix ally Birdman is a Dark Machine Tuner level 3 with 1400 attack and 400 defense, and its effect is if this card is in your hand, you can return one face-up monster you control to the hand, special summon this card, but banish it when it leaves the field. Also, it gains 500 attack if the returned monster was wind on the field. This card can make itself 1900 attack, and works to generate loop effects for returning cards to the hand. This is a common card. It can also be useful on cards that require to be normal summoned and can only activate their effect when they are summoned in the first place. Magical Merchant is a light insect level 1 with 200 attack and 700 defense, and its effect is flip, excavate cards from the top of your deck until you excavate a spell or trap card. Add that card to your hand, also send the remaining cards to the graveyard. This card has been used in decks that work on getting rid of monsters to the graveyard or to search for a much needed background. Cosmic Compass is an Earth Machine level 1 with 100 attack and 300 defense, and its effect is when this card is normal summoned, you can special summon a number of Compass tokens, Machine type Earth level 1 with 0 attack and 0 defense, up to the number of monsters your opponent controls. This card is used to generate tokens to be used for link monsters or to protect your field. Droll and Lockbird is a Wind spellcaster level 1 with 0 attack and 0 defense, and its effect is during either player's turn, if your opponent adds a card from their deck to their hand, except during the draw phase, you can send this card from your hand to the graveyard. For the rest of this turn, neither player can add a card from their deck to their hand. This is going to stop your opponent from searching for additional cards. This is going to be a common card. Silent Storm is a field spell that says linked monsters on the field gain 500 attack and defense. The linked summon of linked monsters cannot be negated. If you take 2000 or more damage by battle or a card effect, you can shuffle the face down cards in your extra deck and excavate the top card of those cards, and if it is a Cybus linked monster, special summon it, otherwise return it to its original position. This card can be used to make your linked monsters protected by increasing their stats. It stops linked monsters' summon from being negated, and it can also bring out a Cybus linked monster. Night Beam is a normal spell card that says target one set spell or trap card your opponent controls. Destroy that target. Your opponent cannot activate the targeted card in response to this card's activation. This card gets rid of a back row without them being able to activate the card. Offerings to the Doomed is a quick play spell card that says target one face-up monster on the field. Destroy that target. Also skip to your next draw phase. This card can get rid of a monster in exchange for your draw phase. It is a very old card, and I don't understand why it's being reprinted. Considering this came out first within Labyrinth of Nightmare on the 1st of December 2004, and to my knowledge, I don't see this card being played. Forbidden Chalice is a quick play spell card that says target one face-up monster on the field until the end of this turn. That target gains 400 attack, but its effects are negated. This card can get rid of a monster effect, or to prop up a card's attack. Scapegoat is a quick play spell card that says special summon 4 sheep tokens. These are Beast Earth level 1 with 0 attack and 0 defense in defense position. They cannot be tributed for a tribute summon. You cannot summon other monsters the turn you activate this card, but you can normal set. This is a token generating card as well as protecting your life points, and it can work with link monsters. Swords of Revealing Light is a normal spell card that says after this card's activation, it remains on the field, but destroy it during the end phase of your opponent's third turn. When this card is activated, if your opponent controls a face-down defense monster, flip all monsters they control face-up. While this card is face-up on the field, your opponent's monsters cannot declare an attack. This card is used to stall your opponent. However, since it has to remain on the field, this means it can be easily destroyed. It also reveals any of their face-down monsters at the time of activation, so you can see into their strategy a little. Reasoning is a normal spell card that says your opponent declares a monster level. Excavate cards from the top of your deck until you excavate a monster that can be normal summoned or set. If that monster is the same level as the one declared by your opponent, send all excavated cards to the graveyard. If not, special summon the excavated monster. Also send the remaining cards to the graveyard. This card works with decks such as Infernoids that like to get rid of their cards to the graveyard or to summon a monster without much effort. 1 for 1 is a normal spell card that says send one monster from your hand to the graveyard. Special summon one level 1 monster from your hand or deck. This card is used to bring out Glow Up Bulb for synchros or to become an Xyz monster. Set Rotation is a quick play spell card that says set 2 field spells with different names from your deck on the field, 1 on your field and 1 on your opponent's field. While either of those cards remain set on the field, neither player can activate or set others' field spells. This is able to prevent your opponent from getting their field spell that they want. Packet Link is a normal trap card that says during the main phase 2, special summon any number of level 2 or lower monsters with different names from your hand, deck and or graveyard to your zones a link monster points to. You can only activate 1 Packet Link per turn. This card can bring out a number of smaller monsters which can be used to help their effects of a link monster or to bring out another. Wild Tornado is a normal trap card that says select 1 face-up card in the spell and trap card zones and destroy it. The controller of the destroyed card can then set 1 spell or trap card from their hand. If this set card is destroyed and sent to the graveyard, select and destroy one face-up card on the field. This card is able to destroy a face-up back row and can enable a card to be set or to destroy a face-up card if your opponent destroys this. Traptrix Trap Hole Nightmare is a normal trap card that says when a monster that was special summoned this turn activates its effect on your opponent's side of the field, negate that effect, and if you do, destroy that card. This card can get rid of a monster special summoned that tries to activate its effect, with the ever-increasing number of extra deck monsters that can activate on the turn they are summoned. It means they will fall for this every time, as players tend not to be patient enough to wait for another turn. Blazing Mirror Force is a normal trap card that says when an opponent's monster declares an attack, destroy as many attack position monsters your opponent controls as possible, and if you do, take damage equal to half the combined original attack of those destroyed monsters, then inflict damage to your opponent equal to the damage you took. This card can get rid of all attack position monsters and inflict battle damage to both players. Trap Stun is a normal trap card that says negate all other trap card effects on the field this turn. This is used to finish off your opponent, as it can stop them from using traps for the turn. Save Zone is a continuous trap card that says activate this card by targeting one face-up attack position monster on the field. That face-up monster cannot be targeted or destroyed by your opponent's card effects or be destroyed by battle. It cannot attack your opponent directly. When this card leaves the field, destroy that monster. When that monster leaves the field, destroy this card. This card is able to protect a specific monster, which is useful if it is a key monster to your deck. Call of the Haunted is a continuous trap card that says activate this card by targeting one monster in your graveyard, special summon that target in attack position. When this card leaves the field, destroy that target. When that target is destroyed, destroy this card. This can bring back a monster to be used to summon an extra deck monster. Reckless Greed is a normal trap card that says draw 2 cards and skip your next 2 draw phases. This lets you draw what you would have drawn 2 turns early to get to potentially the cards you need. Debulk is a counter trap card that says when a monster effect is activated in the hand or graveyard, negate its activation, and if you do, banish it. This card is used to counter hand traps, which are becoming ever more prevalent. Powercode Talker is a Fire Cybus Link 3 link monster with links pointing to the left, bottom left, and right. Its attack is 2300, and it needs 3 monsters. Its effect is once per turn, you can target one face-up monster on the field. It has its effects negated until the end of this turn. Once per turn during damage calculation, if this card battles an opponent's monster as a quick effect, you contribute 1 monster this card points to. This card's attack becomes double its original attack during that damage calculation only. This card can stop an opponent's monster effect and enables this card to become 4600 for 1 battle, provided you tribute a monster. Traffic Ghost is a Dark Cybus Link 3 link monster with links pointing to the bottom left, the bottom, and the bottom right, and it has 1800 attack, and it requires 3 monsters. It has no effect, but its general purpose is to provide significant numbers of extra monster zones. However, it is not as good as Gaia Saber. The last card is Linkous. This is a light Cybus Link 2 link monster with links pointing to the bottom left and bottom right. It has 1200 attack and is a normal monster, much the same as Traffic Ghost. It is only necessary to open up your zones. What do you think of this structure deck? Will you be buying it or not? And which are the cards you are looking forward to the most? Leave your comments down below, like the video if you enjoyed it, subscribe, click the bell for notifications, and as always, thank you for taking the time to watch this.
And